and welcome to the season one finale of Masterpiece Movie Theater. If you've been along for the whole ride, I appreciate you more than you can imagine. And let's get to it with the final episode of this season, episode 18, which is so crazy that, doing 18 of them. But yeah, taking a break here afterwards, but we're going to be doing Blankman today. If you've seen it, you know it's goofy, it's awesome, it's incredible, and let's get right through it, okay? It came out in 1994, and as you can see, Damon Wayans is right there. It stars Damon Wayans because it was written by him and J.F. Lawton, and it was directed by Mike Binder. So obviously, you see him there, Damon Wayans, so funny all the time. One of the main funny guys of the 90s, in my opinion. Obviously, you saw him Living Color. He was all over that. Homie the Clown, I mean, come on. Just, so good, so funny all the time. So, Damon Wayans plays Daryl Walker, and David Alan Grier plays his brother, Kevin Walker. We have Robin Givens as Kimberly Johns, Christopher Lawford as Mayor, Marvin Harris, Lynn Thigpen, the legendary Lynn Thigpen, as their grandmother. I think it's Eleanor, but just call her Grandma. It's Walker. John Polito as Michael Manelli, and last but not least, we have Jason Alexander as Mr. Stone, who is a very sleazy TMZ head type, just awful person that just wants the details in people's lives, and for ratings and all this stuff. He's fantastic in it. Yeah, but he's a sleazeball and he's great at it. Let's get into some of the fun things about this movie. So in the very beginning of the movie, we have young Daryl and young Kevin playing, and they are played by Damon Wayans' own sons. One of them, who's Damon Wayans Jr., making his feature film debut. When you see them, it's very apparent that they're Damon Wayans' sons. And another fun fact about this is that in Last Action Hero, which came out prior to this, or I'm pretty sure it's prior to this, or right around the same time, Damon Wayans is wearing a Blankman hat at the premiere of the Jack Slater movie. That when they're in the real world, and you see Damon Wayans there, he's wearing a Blankman hat. It's awesome. So this is your spoiler alert. If you've never seen this movie, if you can go right on Tubi, it's free. You can watch it, come back, and we can enjoy the fun parts together. Or if you just want to listen to me talk about it, we can get started right now. So as I mentioned before, the movie opens up with them as children, and they're watching superhero shows like Batman, and they're having fun. They cause a huge mess. They get caught by the grandmother, and who chastises them. And we see him in the future where Daryl is a brilliant yet super nerdy, wicked naive inventor. He's even created this robot out of like a really old washing machine called J5. J5 is so awesome. If you haven't seen it, you have to watch it just for how weird and clumsy and goofy J5 is all by itself. So, and then the grandmother works for somebody who's running for mayor. He's running on a anti-corruption campaign, and Kevin, played by David Alan Grier, is he's a cameraman for, as I had mentioned before, for Larry Stone, who is the sleazy tabloid journalist type guy. So what we essentially see is after the soon-to-be mayor it denies the mobster Michael Manelli's bribe, he sends some people into one of his campaign spots where their grandmother works, and one of the henchmen shoots them all, takes them all out. So their grandmother is murdered, and they don't know who did it right off the bat. They can't prove any of that, because money was taken and all that. So in in a way to deal with it, we see Daryl one day just decides to help this lady on the subway, and the lady that he helps, she thanks him, and he uh, takes it to heart. He overreaches a little bit there afterwards, and when Kevin tries to take him to a psychiatrist for how he's acting, what he's doing, all this behavior, Daryl's very smart, so he flips it on him. So Kevin decides to go along with it, but tells them that they're going to do a neighborhood watch. So they're standing around, they're doing a neighborhood watch. This girl comes and gets them and says that there's a pregnant woman caught in an elevator. So Kevin runs with the girl. Daryl says he'll be right there. He's got to get his tools. Instead, he shows up in the superhero outfit that he has created. And they get down there. It's really funny the way he's doing it, because it's Damon Wayans, and he's doing it the way he lowers himself down into it. So he helps deliver the baby. The news people are all showing up, and they ask him what his name is, and he doesn't say anything. And Kevin says, he looks at the pregnant lady and says, "He's gone blank, ma'am." And she hears him say blank man. So then this name is accidentally given to him, and it's Blankman. So we have a montage of Daryl saving people and doing all the things that vigilante superheroes do, all the different gadgets he creates, all this cool stuff. So one of the reporters that works with, or at the same place that Kevin works, is Kimberly Johns, and she wants to get an exclusive with Blankman. Kevin likes Kimberly Johns because she's played by Robin Givens, and he says that he's trying to impress her. He says he knows him and can get her an interview. So then he begs Daryl to finally give her the interview that she wants. So when he comes and he gets her and he whisks her off on his blank cycle, he takes her to the blank cave, or I think the name of it is, and he's showing her all this stuff. Interviews going on, and she starts to fall in love with him. Eventually, she kisses him, and what ensues after that, if you've never seen it, I don't exactly want to tell you, but it's just such a good piece of physical comedy. It's you if you haven't seen it, go on to Tubi right now. It's so funny. Now we come to maybe my favorite scene in the whole movie. So now Mayor Harris is trying to pay all of the workers on the IOUs that the city has been getting. So they're putting together a big thing for the day. They've got Blankman is supposed to show up, help protect the money, help to everything, this big huge hoopla for the day, and instead Minnelli and his men blow up come from the sewers, blow it up, and make their way into the bank. So they strap him to the mayor. They strap him to the safe. He's covered in explosives. Blankman, they escape. Blankman is unable to protect the money. He can't unchain all the chains that Mayor Harris is on, and he can't defuse. He's having a hard time defusing the bomb. Kevin manages to actually sneak his way in to the bank as well. He hands over the camera and he runs in where people aren't, the police aren't noticing, and he thinks he defuses one bomb, but they still hear ticking, and they go over, and there's another bag with even more explosives on it. It's wild how big the bag is. And the mayor says, "You did everything you could, get out of here now." So they go to run, and he turns around, and he runs back, and he pulls his mask down. And he tells him who he is, and that he meant a lot to him, or he meant a lot to his grandmother because she believed in him. And the mayor says to him that, your grandmother was a great woman. I'll give her your love. And then he warns him about the clock. He's got to get out of there. So Kevin and Daryl run out. The whole bank explodes. And even though Kimberly is embracing him after that, it's apparent that all of the people are turning on him because what about their money? What are they going to do? What's everyone going to do? They end up chasing him down the street. So he gets completely just lost. He starts to give up the Blankman identity. He's not going to come back with it. And he actually ends up getting a regular job at McDonald's. So once Kimberly does a little bit of research, she realizes who he is. It's so easy. Of course, it's Kevin and Daryl, and their grandmother was killed, and of course, so she goes to she calls their apartment, and she's trying to tell Daryl, but then Manelli shows up to kidnap her, and Manelli picks up the phone, thinking that it's Blankman on the phone, tells him that he better show up to save Kimberly or she's gonna die. But it turns out it's Kevin on the phone. So Kevin goes to McDonald's to get Daryl. Now, he's got all the information that Kimberly just gave him, including that Manelli is responsible for their grandmother's death. So he's trying to coax Daryl into coming with him. And this is the part where there's a lot of the fun bickering that they do, especially in this when they go to see the psychiatrist scene. But this scene is, other than the trying to escape the worry of the bank scene, this is my other favorite scene in the movie when they're arguing in McDonald's, because it is real serious acting inside of a comedy where they're fighting like brothers. Here's two actors. Yes, they were on some shows together and other movies. They're yelling at each other like brothers. And I think he slaps him in the. I think Kevin does. If I'm remembering correctly, I'm getting a little emotional thinking about like how much I really like the scene. But he really grabs his attention and says, "Manelli killed Grandma," and that's when Daryl's just like, "Let's go." All right, fine. So they go and they suit up, and he gives him He gives him this really, like, you saw the cover. How he looks. He's usually got the thing on right here. I don't know. You see him like that. He's usually got just a little like sock with the eye holes cut. And David Alan Grier's character looks even goofier. It's so great. So they go to save Kimberly. So what's great about them saving Kimberly is all of this classic stuff that this movie is also supposed to pay so much homage to. The like when they hit, it's like the sounds like Batman, like the bam and the all the stuff like that. But a lot of it is like the camera angles as well, the nuance of the camera angles that they show. It's so it's so much love of old stuff like Batman was put into this movie. Just the ridiculous scenes that they get in, or the scenarios that they get into, all wrapping up here at the end. It's just it's super cool. Obviously, eventually, like the day is saved. He finally, or not Robin, what's her name? Kimberly finally says to him, that lets him know that she knew all along who he is. Gives him another kiss, and the same funny stuff happens to him. It's really good, but again, the ending it wraps up a lot of the film, but the meat and potatoes of it are the bank scene and the argument at McDonald's. Those are my two favorite parts of this. The parts that make this movie so so good. Um, the ending goes back to more of the goofy funny stuff. Uh, but if you haven't seen it, you have to go check it out on Tubi. Tubi's free. You can watch it. There'll be some ads, but you get to watch it for free. It's great. So, again, if you've been watching right along, I appreciate your views. I appreciate some comments. Always hit me up, like it, share, check out all the stuff that is going on Triple N. Be on the lookout for different types of content that have to do with movies like this. I mean, a couple things going on up here in the brain I've been thinking about doing. But until then, thank you again for being here. And we will see you next season right back here.